That's the hoisting of the lion and sun flag, the banner of Iran's power at the disgraceful embassy of the Islamic Republic. In Copenhagen, Denmark, Britain, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Japan have stated their willingness to guarantee safe travel through the strait. Iran's main leverage, the Strait of Hormuz, has become a rope tightening around its own throat. Tehran shut the strait, leaving exactly 400 huge cargo ships stuck off Oman's coast. In a matter of days, world oil prices shot up. Europe's energy supplies got cut off, and the economies of major powers faced direct hits. But Tehran's bold move has failed badly. 22 key nations issued a rare joint military pledge to stop this mess in energy markets. They agreed to send warships, mine-clearing ships, and air patrols right to the Strait of Hormuz. This shift totally alters the war's character. So how did it reach this point so fast? NATO had earlier flat-out rejected involvement. A coalition of 22 countries, mostly NATO members, plus Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, the UAE, and Bahrain came together to make sure the Strait of Hormuz reopens soon. The US had been handling this huge effort mostly alone, with just Israel and some limited Gulf backing. That changed when Iran made its deadly error. According to Reuters, Iran hit the giant Ras Laffan LNG plant in Qatar. Bloomberg said the destruction hit a shocking $20 billion. Natural gas costs in Europe jumped 35% overnight. Japan's crude oil shipments basically stopped. Nations that had said this fight's not ours suddenly saw their own money burning. By March 19th, alarm bells rang. European and Asian capitals, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Japan put out a joint note. They condemned Iran's strikes, promised action to steady energy markets, and offered help for safe strait passage. That same day, the note grew into a vast global military alliance. 22 nations led by the US signed on for a shared military push. This mixed force from 22 countries will deploy naval ships, sub-defenses, and drone vehicles straight into the Strait of Hormuz waters. The big push came from relentless pressure out of Washington. President Donald Trump broke diplomatic norms while meeting Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba in the Oval Office. Trump pressing Japan 90% reliant on Gulf oil for direct military aid even raised World War II's worst shock. Who knows surprise attacks better than Japan? Why didn't you warn me about Pearl Harbor, right? You know. Trump's blunt nod to Pearl Harbor as a lesson in fighting sudden strikes rocked the Japanese team. It was a sharp warning to partners, no more sitting it out. Send your ships to the Strait of Hormuz. So how will this 22-nation group, formed in secret talks, run ops in the Strait of Hormuz waters? The strategy has 4 clear stages. Phase 1: clear the mines. The group will run a full sweep with minehunter vessels, unmanned underwater drones, and fitted choppers. Backed by the UK and Japan, it'll take weeks or months. But starting it will calm markets right away. Phase 2: guard the tankers. It's like the 1987 Ernest will mission today. Ships from 22 nations will rotate escort roles. This spreads the load off US shoulders and locks in safe strait travel. Phase 3: air watches and shore scans. They'll set up a sky network to track Iran's shore missiles, drone pads, and speedboat moves. Built with gear from the US, Australia, Saudi Arabia, the UK, and Qatar, it'll spot every Iranian hit-and-run in real time. Phase 4: wipe out Iran's shore threats. Coalition jets synced with US carriers will hit missile sites, drone hangars, and speedboat hides along Iran's coast. This clears the Strait of Mines and Iran's attack power. Plus, the squeeze is growing. A third US carrier heads there. 2,500 Marines are moving in, and even a land push on Keshem Island is now in play. On the money side, the International Energy Agency tapped 400 million barrels from reserves. Coalition nations want more output from oil makers. Saudi's East-West pipeline runs maxed out. The aim: drop oil under $100 a barrel. and kill Iran's plan for a world energy crunch. Once this global fleet hits the Strait of Hormuz, Iran's long-held sneaky sea tactics will crumble. The Revolutionary Guard's fleet sits boxed in home waters. For Tehran, with mine stocks down 90% from U.S. hits, and over 130 vessels lost at sea, this group spells total military breakdown. Iranian officers barked threats like, "We'll sink every foe ship." But those words fade fast against the 22-nation air shield and Aegis destroyer walls. A multinational force effectively ending the Strait blockade makes Tehran's oil cut-off threat to the world worthless forever. The naval clamp in Strait of Hormuz waters is just the obvious part. Iran faces real ruin from quiet isolation, via backdoor diplomacy and world finance webs. Israel's foreign minister, Gideon Saar, led a global push to brand Iran illegitimate, and it worked. After the EU, Balkans, and many European states have now labeled the IRGC a terror group, the count tops 33. This isn't just talk, it's gutting the guards. Leftover money lines, shell firms, and supply paths. In Europe and the Balkans, frozen accounts yanked business visas, and halted shady shipments will cripple IRGC ops abroad. Old sanction dodge tricks via middlemen now count as terror funding, so global firms see Iran deals as too risky. By sealing the strait and slashing oil cache, Tehran lost backup cash streams too. This outer money and diplomacy grip sparks huge unrest inside. The regimes deal with folks, jobs, safety, calm. Lies broken for millions. In big cities where food basics and clean water grow scarce, the money crunch fuels street riots beyond control. Tales of outside foes no longer fool the crowds. As real hunger hits home kitchens, top officials and army brass rushing out with their cash shows the rot deep inside. Step back on the world power map, and Iran's huge strategy blunder shines clear. Its crisis-time pals went totally quiet. Big shots like China and Russia freeze diplomatically and militarily against the 22-nation sea power in the strait. Beijing, grabbing most import oil from Iran ports, won't clash with the US-led Steel Circle. Its tankers sneak dark strait paths on waivers, but leaders dodge the huge cost of all-out fight. Russia faces a tougher bind. High oil from the strait mess helps its wallet, a boost amid Western sanctions. But stuck in Ukraine's grind, it can't spare sea or air cover for Iran in the Gulf. Any aid stays small, quiet satellite shares at best. Old friends like Syria and North Korea stay mum, under pressure from Gulf modern fleets. Iran's big resistance axis story fell apart in real war. Key regional Muslim states, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, back the world group against Tehran's chaos. This shows it's not just US-Iran friction. Iran fights the whole area's calm. With Iran so alone is a new world setup emerging. Key point when 22 nations with major air-sea might camp at your door, what fight options left? In straight-up war, analysts say Iran's regular forces have near-zero survival odds. Guard speedboats and old frigates get smashed in seconds by carrier jets and Aegis rings. Tehran's path isn't winning, it's denial mode. Just block the foe from the zone. They hold 3 tricky wildcards. First, secret mine drops, smarts mines at night, into straight gaps via radar-free Gadier subs and fake fishing boats. Second, use rough shores, surprise hits on coalition ships, with Nor and Gator anti-ship missiles from Zagros slope tunnels facing the Gulf. Third, sick proxies on other spots, tell Yemen Houthis to hit Red Sea trade lanes, splitting fleet focus between Bab el-Mandeb and Hormuz. But none pack enough to beat the group. Idea, nail a Western tanker or minesweeper. Spike insurance sky high, scare world opinion. Break coalition, resolve. This feels less genius war plan, more desperate suicide gamble bound to flop. Big picture, rare history boomerang. Tehran thought straight lockdown would crash world trade, but they snared themselves. Europe ties severed forever, military arms tagged terror. 22 top navies now at their coast. China, Russia watch from sidelines as superpowers dive in to save their cash flow. Iran's ace blackmail tool burned up. Caged in their own trap, ringed by giant force. Tehran sinks alone in the storm it started. Regime's master plot smashed in home seas. Last question, will Tehran take the siege and talk? Or play final hands and vanish in gloom? So what do you think about this? Drop your views in comments below. For more breakdowns like this, subscribe. And hit the bell for alerts. Thank you for watching.